Hey, let me talk about Don Quixote for a moment because I had a real rage moment. Um, we are in the second part in chapter 21. Theo is playing with his toy. Um, and they've come, Don Quixote and Sancho Paz and a cousin of, I think it's Don Diego, have come to this great wedding that's happening. And it's a sumptuous wedding, and it's a wedding between a rich farmer and a beautiful maiden. A beautiful maiden who has been said to be in love with this humble shepherd. Um, and they really go into like how fabulous, like there's a giant steer that has a whole ton of suckling pigs stuck into its stomach. They've got like giant cauldrons full of stuff. Sancho Paz goes over to beg for a little scrap or something, and they give him an entire kind of um, big cooking pot full of food, of like a couple chickens and a duck and everything like that. It's like the farmer's just doing everything. um but yeah, they get to the wedding party arrives, and the shepherd, Basilio, shows up to protest the marriage of Camacho with the Quiteria. And he's Basilio 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 kind of says like, "Oh, she's forgotten me. She's you know done all this stuff." And so he's got this strange shaft which he unsheathes, and it's a sword, and he throws himself on the sword and he stabs himself to death. Um, but he's not entirely dead. He's still alive, and he makes this whole thing of like, "Well, marry me just as I'm about to die, because that's the way I'll do it." And it's like, you should really just have confession, and so you don't die, go to hell. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. The only way I'll do that is if she does the thing to me, if she agrees to marry me. Um, it's complete blackmail by this asshole, complete blackmail. And she finally relents, is convinced to go over. The All of Basilio's friends convince the farmer to allow this to happen, the rich farmer Camacho, to allow this to happen. Some say almost forced to allow this to happen. It's been completely hijacked. And so, and she comes there and says like, "And you have to say that you're doing this willingly, of your own free will, that I'm not obviously just stab myself and emotionally blackmailing you in front of everybody." And she says, "Yes, I will. Okay, fine. Completely, without reservation, I'll do that." And so they're married, and of course the motherfucker jumps up and says, "Oh, I'm fine. It's all good." He's completely tricked them. And I don't so much care about the farmer as that, yeah, he's done this without the woman saying. And I mean, the farmer's like, "Oh, you were in Quatere, you must have been in on this." "Yes, Theo. Yes, Theo. You must have been in on this." But as we learn, further out along the thing is, no, she was not in on this, um, because this kind of story, and it's written by a male author and stuff like that. Of course, she's happy with the situation, but it's like, no, he's taken this on himself to trick both her and the guy she was going to marry, to marry him. Because I mean, there is a thing saying like, well, she didn't put up a protest. It could say like, okay, it was under false circumstances and all that. But now that it's happened, she agrees. She agrees to the wedding and stuff like that. But I found it just like, it's in and Don Quixote kind of defends the and looks like they're going to battle, the two groups, the Camacho's friends against Basilio's friends. And Don Quixote is going to take the shepherd's point of view, because all's fair in love and war. Basically, there's you trickery is permissible in love, which I would call bullshit on. Tricking a woman into marrying you is not cool. It's not cool. It's not fair. It's not a great basis for a lifelong relationship. Um, uh, yeah, yeah. It was just definitely like, I was pissed off. I have a lot of things of like, this guy's an asshole. I hate this rotten bastard kind of things in this section of like, I did not like this at all. Um, but yes, and Sancho Paz is like, no, I'm on the farmer side because he's like, it's like that's a good practical marriage. That woman you're never gonna want for anything anymore. Um, she is fairly high class woman, and Basilio is fairly is low class penniless shepherd because it's not like marrying like, which is what he says his wife says, which it's probably the practical thing, but of course Don Quixote, it's the romantic thing is of course on that side of things, and it's definitely one of those cases of there we go with chivalry again, and it's romantic, but it can also be deeply not respectful to the object of your affections, actual wants and desires, and treating them as an actual person, and this woman Quiteria as an actual character. It's like, no, she is just a figurehead of an object of desire in this story that Don Quixote has decided to, you know, be the great knight in. Um, so yeah, I think that's about all I have to rant about that particular little section of Don Quixote. It's second part, chapter 21, sort of around like 593. Just like, complete fucker. All right, more videos later.